Daughter told me not to attend her wedding because she was afraid I would embarrass her. I respected her decision. But on the wedding day, I quietly slipped into the last pew just long enough to watch her walk down the aisle. Then the groom looked past her, saw me, and went completely pale. What he did next left nearly 200 guests staring in stunned silence. My daughter looked me in the eyes and asked me not to come to her own wedding. She said I would embarrass her. I raised Lauren alone after her father passed away. She was 6 years old. I worked in the mortgage department of a small credit union. I packed her lunches before sunrise. I stretched every paycheck across school supplies, medical bills, and whatever broke that month. We never had much, but she never went without. I wore the same winter coat for 9 years, so she could have new shoes every fall. She never noticed. That was the point. When she was little, she used to crawl into my bed on Saturday mornings. She promised she'd buy me a giant house one day, one with 2 kitchens. I still don't know why 2. Then she went to college. Junior year, she met Ethan. At first, she told me everything. He's smart, Mom. Annoyingly smart. Then I already dislike him. I teased. She laughed. No, you'd love him. I waited to meet him. Weeks turned into months. There was always a reason. He had exams, his parents were traveling, his father was swamped with work. Eventually, I stopped asking. Then one afternoon, she called me crying. Mom, he proposed. I cried with her. For a few minutes, she sounded like my little girl again. So when do I finally meet this mystery man? Silence. Soon, she said. Soon never came. Calls became texts. Texts became one-word replies. I invited them to dinner twice. She canceled twice. The second time, she canceled by text. One line. Sorry, something came up. 3 weeks before the wedding, she finally showed up at my door. She stood stiff in my kitchen while I poured coffee. She wouldn't sit down. She wouldn't touch her cup. Ethan's family is very respected, she started. His father built a big construction company. They know important people. The wedding is formal. I bought a dress. She stared at the floor. That's not what I mean. I set down the pot. Then what do you mean? She took a breath. Please don't come to the wedding. I couldn't speak. She rushed to fill the silence. You'd feel out of place. I'd worry about you all day. Something could happen. What could happen? She wouldn't answer. So I answered for her. You're afraid I'll embarrass you. Nothing. Her silence said it louder than words ever could. I'm your mother. I know. Does Ethan know you're asking me this? She hesitated. That hesitation told me everything. All right, I said. I won't come. Relief spread across her face. That relief was the part that broke my heart. On the wedding morning, I stayed home until almost noon. Then I opened my dresser and took out my mother's pearl locket. My mother wore it at her wedding. I wore it at mine. Lauren begged to wear it someday, back when she was small enough to believe I hung the moon. I placed it in a velvet box and drove to the church. The plan was simple. Hand the box to an usher. Ask him to give it to the bride. Drive home before anyone noticed me. But then the organ started playing through those heavy doors, and my feet refused to carry me back to the car. I slipped inside and sat in the very last pew, half hidden behind a tall stand of white roses. 200 guests filled the rows ahead of me. Silk dresses, diamond watches. Nobody looked back at the woman in the plain gray dress. Then the doors opened, and Lauren appeared. She was breathtaking. For one moment, all I could see was the little girl who wore pillowcases as bridal veils and practiced her walk down our hallway. At the altar stood Ethan, tall, nervous, smiling. It was the first time I had ever laid eyes on my daughter's fiancé. Lauren reached him. He took both her hands. The officiant opened his book and began. Then Ethan's eyes drifted past my daughter's shoulder, past 200 guests, to the very last pew, to me. His smile vanished. The color drained from his face. He leaned toward the officiant and whispered something. The officiant stopped mid-sentence. 200 heads began to turn. Then Ethan let go of my daughter's hands at the altar and started walking straight toward me.